All right, enough Europa League. How about some quick hits?
Let's go, guys.
After getting 9 dankes from an estimated 99 different managers, it looks like Bayern Munich may have found their new boss. And it's our boy, Vincent Kompany.
Wow.
Jules, he just got relegated with Burnley. Bold or bonkers?
I think a bit of both, Gab. I really do, because we love him. He's a guy, there's a lot of things going for him. One, that he's a very promising young manager. Two, that he used to play in Germany a long time ago. He speaks Flemish, so the language won't be a problem, which I think is very important for Bayern, that you speak the language. I think he feels ready for a jump like that, even if it's a big jump between Burnley and Bayern Munich. So I can see why, although it's very bold from them, no problem. But he is also quite surprising that a club like Bayern go and get somebody with just 1 year experience in one of the big 5 leagues top flight, which is what Vinny has done this year with Burnley. Not to great success at all. And we can look at the environment and reasons why, which is fair. But it's still really rare for a club like Bayern to go and take a gamble, because this is still a gamble.
It's a massive gamble. I'm imagining he must have had the blessing of Pep at some point.
Yeah, maybe,
having worked under him. I also think when you speak to him, I think people can easily be seduced by Vincent Kompany because he speaks very well. He says the right things. He's got a good sense of the managerial side as well, like in terms of like upper management rather than just coaching, given his time at Anderlecht. It is very left field, but he plays the kind of football that they want to see, right? That's what Burnley did successfully coming up, and obviously that's what they struggle to do in the Premier League this year. But again, I think it's because much as I love Luca Coglioscio, the pride of Darien or wherever he's from in Connecticut, like I know, it's not the same thing as the Leroy Sané.
True. I'm not just sure how he will handle the dressing room, Bayern as a club, Uli Hoeneß, people like that. It's a very different environment than anything he's known before.
I think he knows how to talk to big egos and powerful people. I think
we'll
that part, and I think there's a humility to him. I think the issue might be more on the football side, possibly.
We'll see. And Gab, there's also continued confusion over whether Xavi is going to stay at Barcelona next season or not. And some are even liking Hansi Flick to the job to replace him.
Yeah, that was Diario Sport in Barcelona, but again, those are Catalan follies. That was all denied. There was a meeting. Oh, Flick is meeting Laporta in London. Laporta apparently has pneumonia. Get well soon, Johan. So obviously that never happened. But the reality is Xavi doesn't know if he's coming or staying. And this is embarrassing. This is not how you treat Xavi. The guy came out, went out on a limb, said he's going to leave, citing his family, the environment, blah, blah, blah. And they said, fine. Then they go on a run of good games. And then they're all like, oh, no, Xavi, please stay, please stay. And then it seems he's going to stay. But then he gives an interview before Almeria where he says, oh, look, this club, it's going to be really difficult next season. Because it will be. It will be because despite what Laporta thinks, the numbers are there for everybody to see. You're under severe financial restrictions. You will probably have to sell before you can buy. There's a lot of things you have to do. So this guy's simply speaking the truth. But, Laporta's one of those guys who just wants everybody to be eternally optimistic all the time. And, and apparently this is why then they delayed the meetings that they were going to have.
Yeah.
Presumably they'll speak before Sevilla, the final game of the season. I don't think Hansi Flick is going there. It's possible, but if you're Hansi Flick, why would you go there in those situations?
It's more like a Rafa Marquez kind of type.
Yeah, Rafa Marquez, who's in-house, who doesn't cost a lot of money. And let's face it, who's, with all due respect, Rafa Marquez, right? So if you say jump, he says how high. Toni Kroos won't be back at Real Madrid next season. He won't be back anywhere. In fact, he's retiring after the Euros. Jules, your thoughts? And do you think Luka Modric will be on his way too?
I think Modric might get another year as a part-time player, which is what he is, really, to be honest.
Didn't really enjoy last year being part-time.
But he might just want to stick around just one more year. For Kroos, one of the greatest midfielders of his generation, there's no doubt. I struggle a little bit because I still think he's not far from his best and from his peak. This is a very good season that he's had. He's going to go to the Euros with Germany. I think he could easily have played another 2 or 3 years. Maybe not at this kind of level, but still at a very good level. And I'm just sad because I don't think anyone should retire when they're still very close to their best, which is, in my eyes, why he still is now. So I'm sure he's got his reasons. He clearly feels that it's time to go. But I would have loved him to stick around a little bit longer.
I think if Modric leaves too, I think I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if the contract extensions they were offered, both Modric and Kroos, those are two of the top 3 highest paid players at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the contract offers that they're offered involve massive cuts, because Real Madrid, who've been profitable since 2003, really do mind the numbers, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to have to give all this money to your pal Mbappe. And I also think they have to do some serious investment in the squad.
Yeah.
Nacho's gone too, so they're going to pick up another center back.
Right back.
Vasquez and Dani Carvajal are 32 and 33 respectively. Ferland Mendy's got a year left on his contract, and they're not going to extend him because it's Ferland Mendy. So they'll bring somebody else in. And if these guys leave, they'll have to probably bring in another midfielder. So I think it's going to be a big summer at the Bernabeu.
Inter Milan have new owners after the Zhang family failed to repay, as we mentioned last time, their 375 million euro loan from Oak Tree Capital. So, Gab, that means that Oak Tree Capital are now the new owners, right?
Yeah, it means they take over the 68% stake that the Zhang family had. People have asked, what about the debt, financial fair play? It's nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
This is simply the Suning basically borrowed this money from Oak Tree, and they put it into the club as equity, hoping that they could either sell the club to somebody or refinance the loan somehow, or maybe Inter would make money and then they could pay the loan back. They did not put the loan on the club the way, for example, the Glazers did back in the day. So from that part, not much is going to change. Obviously, Oak Tree Capital, this is a fund. They've got investors. They want to make money. So I think they're going to be quite disciplined in the way they do it. They'll be looking to either grow the enterprise value of the club or try to make a return. Inter's still losing money, although the books are getting better every year. I don't think they're just going to, sell everybody and just shut the club down and asset strip.
The idea is to make the club more profitable and then sell it for
You would think that would be the idea, a little bit like what Elliott did at Milan. The difference is that when Elliott took over Milan, it was an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Inter in a much better place right now. Former French handball star Faisal Lamari, who also happens to be Kylian Mbappe's mom, had something to say about where her son will play next season.
That's right. On Monday night, there was a big farewell party in this really posh Italian restaurant.
Not
Paris.
hosted by Paris Saint-Germain. Presumably was Nasser not there.
He was invited, but could not make it. But there was a lot of people from the club.
He's got a lot of stuff to do now.
There's a lot of people from the club who were there. President Macron was also invited, could not make it. There's kind of a crisis in Nouvelle-Calédonie right now, so he's got other things to do. But loads of people turned up, 200 people around, 200 guests, a lot of the current players, a bit of staff. No Luis Enrique either, by the way. And when she left just before midnight, and we asked Faiza, where is he going to go? She said, well, already. Everybody knows. And we all know. It's just the worst kept secret in the history of the game, I guess, that he's going to Real Madrid. It's just a matter of days now before it's announced.